لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن الأصدق الحديث كتاب الله. For surely the most truthful of speech is Allah's book, the Quran. وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم, and the best one to guide the people to the most perfect understanding and to the most perfect application of what Allah Ta'ala revealed in His book is His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَشَرُّ الْأُمُورِ مُحْدَثَاتُهَا, and the most evil of affairs are those newly invented matters that the people have introduced into this deen. فَإِنَّ كُلَّ مُحْدَثَةٍ بِدْعَةٍ, for surely every newly invented matter in this deen is an innovation. وَكُلَّ بِدْعَةٍ دَلَالَةٍ, and every innovation is on a pathway leading astray from Allah's path. وَكُلَّ دَلَالَةٍ فِي النَّارِ, and every pathway leading astray from Allah's path is in the hellfire. Allah Ta'ala, He informs us about the disbelievers, the idol worshippers, and the atheists. They claim that they will not be resurrected. Allah Ta'ala says, زَعَمَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَن لَن يُبْعَثُوا. The disbelievers claim that they will never be raised again after death. They say you only live once. Allah Ta'ala says, قُلْ بَلَا وَرَبِّي لَتُبْعَثُنَّ ثُمَّ لَتُنَبَّؤُنَّ بِمَا عَمِلْتُمْ. Say, yes, by my Lord, you will certainly be resurrected. Then you will be informed of what you did. You will be informed of all your actions, whether major or minor, big or small. وَذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ يَسِيرٌ, and that is easy for Allah. Resurrecting you is easy for Allah, and compensating you is easy for Allah. The worldly pleasures that you see the kuffar enjoying, that the people are programmed to strive for rather than Allah's pleasure, those are the sacrifices, the daily sacrifices that the believers make for the sake of Allah's pleasure and for the sake of being devoted to Allah and for Allah's reward in the life to come. Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, لَيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ وَرِزْقٌ كَرِيمٌ. The hour will come that Allah may recompense those who believe and do righteous deeds. For such people there is forgiveness from Allah and a noble provision. فَآمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَنُورِ الَّذِي أَنزَلْنَا. Therefore believe in Allah and in His messenger and in the light which we have sent down. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرٌ. And Allah Ta'ala is all aware of what you do. None of your deeds ever escape His knowledge. Allah Ta'ala calls the Quran an-nur, the light. So many reciters of the Quran openly and publicly display rejection of the Quran by disobeying its commands, and they are following the programming of the kuffar. The Quran is the light to snap you out of the programming that you see the kuffar following. For you to believe in the Quran is to agree with all of it and to reject none of it. Agreeing with it is obeying it, and rejecting it is disobeying it. The FBI and Donald Trump agree that Muslims are not being properly vetted. So Donald Trump proposes extreme vetting to keep Muslims out. They seek to humiliate you with their threats and vetting. They vet you to test the effectiveness of their programming on you. In every case, you must remain firm upon faith in Allah and His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That what Allah tabarak wa ta'ala revealed is the truth. You believe in it and you agree with it. What Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with is the truth. You believe in it and you agree with it. You are to be Muslim by conviction, not by tradition. Those who control the Kafir media are the same ones who control the politicians, are the same ones who controlled 9/11 and all of the other false flag terror attacks that they blame on the Muslims and their false strawman terrorist groups. So the white Kafir wants to vet you first before letting you enter into his dwelling. It's nothing new. It's not a problem. The real problem is the Muslim who makes the white Kafir feel empowered and feels compelled to answer to the white Kafir and lies to himself and lies to you and reinterprets the Quran seeking to please the kuffar with it. And they call it dawah. Dawah to what? The fake Muslim convinces the white Kafir into becoming a fake Muslim so they can make him an imam over the fake Muslims' masjid. Allah tabarak wa ta'ala already warned us about the kuffar from trying to please them. He says, وَلَن تَرْضَ عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَا النَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُم. Never will the Jews nor the Christians be pleased with you until you follow their lifestyle. Therefore, do not seek what pleases or appeases them, and stick to what pleases Allah by calling those kuffar to the truth that Allah tabarak wa ta'ala sent His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with. Allah tabarak wa ta'ala, He tells us how to respond to those kuffar. He says, Qul inna hudallahi huwal huda. Say, verily, the guidance of Allah is the only guidance. It's when you abandon the guidance, the light of Allah, the book of Allah, that the kuffar vetting you only serves to validate your kufr. Once you have abandoned the guidance that Allah tabarak wa ta'ala sent Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with, that's when the kafir vetting process gets you to assist them in ridiculing al-Islam and rejecting the ayats of Allah. Allah tabarak wa ta'ala says, وَلَن تَرْضَ عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَا النَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُم. The Jews or the Christians will never be pleased with you until you follow their guidance, until you follow their programming. Those control freaks seek to program you with their media, their television and movies and video games and music, so that your values are the same as their values, so that you like what they want you to like and you hate what they want you to hate, and you wear those clothes that they wear, and you shave your faces like them, and you manicure your beards like them. Then they subject you to vetting in order for you to denounce your religion piece by piece. They don't just do it outright. They don't just outright call you to denounce al-Islam, but they do it little by little. They ask you about the verse in the Quran that they hate, so that you will reject it. Verses about jihad, wife beating, polygamy, sex slaves. They ask you about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, marriage to Aisha when she was 9 years old. They ask you these things to make you apostate from al-Islam by disagreeing with Allah and His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Qul inna hudallahi huwal huda. Say to those kafirs, verily Allah's guidance is the only guidance. And those kuffar, they have their proofs from the ancient books of the early scholars, translated into English by kafir translators. They will present their proofs to you for what they hate about al-Islam. Their proofs may be authentic, or they may be something that they made up. Our answer to them remains the same. We remain firm, unwavering, and unapologetic. If Allah said it, it is the truth, and we believe in it, and we agree with it. If Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did it, it's the truth. We believe in it, and we agree with it. And always remember when they vet you. You are being vetted by a hater, an enemy of Al-Islam, who seeks to humiliate you and your religion. We had to stand up for our deen. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala says, say to the kuffar, lakum dinukum waliyadeen. To you is your kafir faith, and to me, my Islamic faith. To you, your kafir culture. To me, my Islamic culture. To you, your kafir identity, and to me, my Islamic identity. To you, your kafir values, and to me, my Islamic values. To you, your kafir lifestyle, and to me, my Islamic lifestyle. It is narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لا تزال طائفة من أمتي يقاتلون على الحق ظاهرين لا يضرهم من خالفهم حتى يأتي أمر الله. There will always be a group from my ummah fighting upon the truth, having the upper hand, not harmed by their opponents until the decree of Allah, the last hour, comes. There will always be a group from the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam fighting against the kuffar, against kufr, to establish La ilaha illallah wa Muhammad Rasulullah on the earth, until you return to Al-Islam, as it was taught and practiced by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, until you stop rejecting Al-Islam as it was taught and practiced by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions. You are a disgrace to your Creator. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala says, كَذَّبَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ فَأَتَاهُمُ الْعَذَابُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ فَأَذَاقَهُمُ اللَّهُ الْخِزْيَ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَالْعَذَابُ الْآخِرَةِ أَكْبَرُ لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ. Those before them had rejected, and so the torment came on them from directions they perceived not. So Allah made them taste the disgrace in this present life. But greater is the torment of the life to come, if they only knew. The kuffar seek to humiliate you because of your religion. The humiliation upon you is from Allah, because you have abandoned the teaching and practice of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, and you follow the programming of the kuffar, which make you believe that the kuffar have power. As Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala says, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ قَالُوا لِلَّذِينَ كَرِهُوا مَا نَزَّلَ اللَّهُ سَنُطِيعُكُمْ فِي بَعْدِ أَمْرٍ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ إِسْرَارَهُمْ. That is because they say to those who hate Allah's laws, those who hate Allah's Sharia, they say to them, we will obey you in some respects. We will obey your kafir laws, and we will reject the laws of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala knows their secret talks. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, he narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إِذَا تَبَعْيَتُمْ بِالْعِينَ وَأَخَذْتُمْ أَذْنَابَ الْبَكَرِ وَرَضِيتُمْ بِالزَّرْعِ وَتَرَكْتُمُ الْجِهَادِ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ سَلَّطَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمْ ذُلًّا لَا يَنْزِعُهُ حَتَّى تُرْجِعُوا إِلَى دِينِكُمْ. When you take part in transactions involving riba, and you take hold to the tails of cattle, and you become pleased with agriculture, and you abandon the jihad fi sabilillah, then Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala will replace humiliation upon you. Allah will place humiliation upon you, and He will not remove it until you return to your deen, until you return to Al-Islam, until you return to the pure Al-Islam, as it was taught and practiced by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala will place humiliation upon you until He won't remove it, until you abandon following the programming of the kuffar, until you return to the deen of rejecting the taghut, until you stop disobeying Allah and His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This humiliation upon you is placed upon you by Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, and Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala will not remove it until you return to your deen, until you return to Al-Islam. until you return to your deen, al-Islam, completely and wholeheartedly, submitting your will to do the will of Allah wa ta'ala by obeying all of his commands and following the teachings and the practice of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, who's ready, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت واستغفرك وأتوب إليك. May Allah wa ta'ala help us to see the truth and help us to follow it. And may Allah wa ta'ala help us to see the falsehood and help us to avoid it. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم.